Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Oh, you ready for a whole bunch of timey-wimey crap, kids? Hello, and welcome back to another episode of X-Men Classics. Your spot for everything that has an X in it. All right, I have Phil joining me as always. Oh, jeez, I got your harpoon right here.
Justin the Owl, release the hounds. Release the hounds and get the leashes out.
Oh my!
If you know, you know.
That's right, kids. We're going to talk some X-Men Days of Future Present. Yes, I got that right. You're like, you know the future past? No, it's another one.
Present. It's a different one.
Yes. There's one of the annual events. Yeah, one through the
annual
and
yeah, right, four-part event.
Yes. So of course, yes, I am joined by my good friend here, Mr. Justin the Owl.
Oh yes. Complete with my own drop now, my own sonic drop. Yeah.
His He'll start being like Lilith. I'll be like, oh, you know his name.
That's me.
What's with this harpoon talk? I didn't think the harpoon was coming out till we got to the Namor stuff in Atlantis attack.
There's plenty of harpoons throwing around in that one too.
A lot of harpoons waving around in here.
Exactly.
All right. So, all right. Let's get. Oh, did you see? I guess. Was it Brevoort or someone was saying for the new X stuff that's coming out? Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's like a new mandate, like no future mutants, except I guess Rachel Summers is the only exception because she's in a relationship.
She's already firmly established.
But I guess we're not going to see much of Cable for a while, or Bishop, or it's like.
Okay. I was surprised about Cable and Bishop. I thought that he would have made an exemption for like Rachel, Cable, and Bishop. But wow, yeah.
I don't see it lasting long.
No, God, no. Probably 6 months. Have you read the first new X-Men issue?
I did read the X-Men issue. That was good. Phoenix came out this week. I thought that was good.
Oh, yes. I want to read that too. That looks interesting. I like the premise of that, of Jean Grey out in space doing stuff. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It looks like, they're setting up some good stuff there.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I'm going to check that one out too.
All right. So, but I love it's like, no future mutants. So what we're trying to like simplify the X books for people. Oh, that ship sailed decades ago.
Oh, I like the attempt though. It's a sincere attempt. It's nice. Yeah. As long as we don't see a lot of stuff like this storyline that we're talking about tonight, because that would, if you're trying to attract new readers, that will definitely drive them away in droves.
Yes. I remember reading this. I remember when I read it when it first came out. I don't know about you, but I was just like, what the F is going on?
Exactly. That was my reaction too, Phil. Totally. And reading it still today, almost 35 years later, still my reaction is like, what the F is going on here?
I know. 1990, I was 12. I was like, what the F is this?
But still, it's no clearer today. It's still kind of a mess, but it's a glorious.
There are little inconsistencies, but we'll get it. But we'll get there.
We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, the bad, and the mutated.
Exactly. All right, let's dive into these because we got some
Yes.
Got a lot going on in these. All right.
Yeah.
The first, yes, part one, Fantastic, which is clear. Fantastic Four Annual 23 from July 1990, when Franklin comes marching home. Writers Walt Simonson and Bob Harris, penciler Jackson Geis, inker Jeff Isherwood, colorist Richard Reich, letterer Pat Brousseau and Rick Parker, and editors Ralph Macchio and Michael Hessler. The Fantastic Four are returning home after having a picnic with Reed and Sue's son Franklin. However, when they arrive at the scene, they are shocked to see that their headquarters, the Four Freedoms Plaza, has been replaced with their former headquarters, the Baxter Building.
Whoops.
Suspecting a possible trap, Reed lands the Fantastic car in a nearby Central Park so they can approach the building from the ground. And I love, doesn't someone say, "Oh, could someone be behind this, like Doom or someone?" And doesn't Reed say, "Like, oh no, him or whoever else they mentioned could be possibly responsible for this?" I'm like, wasn't Christoph the one responsible for getting rid of the Baxter Building?
Right.
But executing an old Doom plan. I'm like,
yeah.
How is Doom not?
Even one of the stray Doom bots could have been responsible for that.
Exactly. I'm like, what? Like, if he couldn't do through science, Doom wouldn't wouldn't be above sacrificing like 100 lat variants for some dark spell.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Whatever it takes. Yeah.
Damn, Richards. From the front door of their headquarters appears as it did before the Baxter Building was destroyed. Inside, they're even more shocked to see the old doorman, O'Houlihan, even though he retired some time ago. Trying to operate the elevator, they notice that it operates on the old devices they used to contain in their belt buckles. However, Sue has kept her old signal device for sentimental reasons, MacGuffin, and they're able to access the elevator.
That was convenient. Yeah.
Exactly. As they disappear, O'Houlihan finds this entire incident troubling and calls upstairs. When the Fantastic Four arrive on the main floor of their old headquarters, they're suddenly attacked by the security systems. However, these security devices are greatly outdated and they are easily able to fight through them. As they continue on, Franklin becomes more and more upset, telling his family that they have to stop as he feels something horrible is inside the building somewhere. Suddenly, they're ambushed by what appears to be the original Fantastic Four as they were early on in their careers. The Reed Richards of this original Fantastic Four orders his teammates to attack, and a fight breaks out between the two versions of the team. Despite the fact that they are more adept with their powers, this Fantastic Four are defeated due to the danger posed to Franklin and their reluctance to attack at full strength. The Fantastic Four are then taken to the fake Reed's lab to be examined. Fake Reed, comes to the conclusion that they are the real Fantastic Four. However, the question comes up as to how two identical versions of the Fantastic Four exist. The real Reed tries to explain that they are future versions of their captors, but Reed's question falls on deaf ears. Suddenly, they're in for a shock when the fake Sue calls in her son Franklin, who is a grown adult. I'm sorry. Yes, adult Franklin.
Right. Yes, that's appropriate as well.
Yes. Yeah. This adult Franklin is confused and doesn't understand how the people contained on the wall could be their family. He has his family right before him. Sue tries to appeal to the adult Franklin to get him to listen to reason, but this only serves to confuse him more. Young Franklin, meanwhile, renounces his older self, saying that he is the real Franklin. Spurned into anger, the adult Franklin loses his temper and flees to gather his thoughts. Suddenly, the illusion the adult Franklin was creating vanishes, along with the Baxter Building and the other Fantastic Four. Reed realizes something is wrong and soon discovers the entire building has been covered with an impenetrable force field which they cannot break through. Meanwhile, off the coast of Britain at the lighthouse headquarters of Excalibur, Phoenix spends some time outside with her teammate Megan. When Megan asks Phoenix about her life in the future, she admits that her memories of her past are scrambled. Suddenly, Rachel shouts out in pain and keels over. Recovering, she tells Megan that she has to go and deal with some personal business, refusing Megan's offer to gather the rest of Excalibur to help her. Why would we do that? Then we'd have to include their annual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, why wouldn't they do that? You're already bringing in one member of Excalibur. Why didn't you just include their annual?
I know. I'm still mystified about that to this day.
I mean, how many X-Men annual crossovers did they miss?
I can only surmise that they were trying to keep Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde separate from the rest of the X people for a while because they thought that they were dead or something. I don't know. Like,
oh, maybe it was like, yeah,
I can't, because Chris Claremont was writing both. He was writing Uncanny X-Men and Excalibur. So the decision had to be deliberate to keep them separate that way.
Because this was a few months before Extinction Agenda, so maybe that was the whole thing. It's like, oh, if those two had come in at this point, they just would have rejoined the X-Men when X Factor came back and stuff.
Right. That's the only thing that I can think of, because they weren't seen anywhere in this. Nightcrawler or Shadowcat were nowhere to be seen in any of this stuff.
No.
So,
but I mean, after this is over, wouldn't Rachel go back and be like, "Oh, hey guys, Storm's alive"? At least,
right? Yeah. And Forge and Banshee, I talked with them, and I just, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I know.
I would have loved to have seen Excalibur involved with this. Captain Britain flying in and punching Ahab in the face. It would have been fantastic.
Exactly.
This is a missed opportunity in that regard, as far as all. Yeah. But that's okay. It's still a good story, but
yeah,
I feel like it could have been better with the addition of Excalibur.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, X-Men members Forge and Banshee, pretty much the reserves here, are in New York City enjoying the sights when suddenly they are confronted by the adult Franklin Richards. Franklin recognizes them as his old teachers, but suddenly loses his temper again when he notices that they are much younger than he remembers and takes off again. Realizing who they were talking to, Forge suggests that they go to Four Freedoms Plaza. Meanwhile, in the distant future, the being known as Ahab is awoken by his computers as they have located where Franklin Richards has escaped to. Seeing that he appeared in the modern age at the Four Freedoms Plaza, Ahab orders his minions to prepare for a time jump. Back in New York City, Franklin is hiding out with his old friends, the Power family, and is passing time by playing hide and seek with them. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four are examining the situation. Reed has come to the conclusion this adult version of Franklin must be some kind of manifestation of Franklin's dormant mutant powers. He decides that the only way to protect their son is to remove his mind blocks and unlock his full mutant potential. While down below on the streets, Banshee and Forge notice the force field around the Four Freedoms Plaza. They try to use their abilities to pierce it, but to no avail. Suddenly, as Reed is conducting tests on Franklin, a time portal opens inside the building and they are attacked by an army of futuristic drones. The act of warping into the present breaks the force field. Sue manages to gather them up and toss them outside the building where they harmlessly explode. With the force field down, Banshee flies himself and Forge up to the hole in the building to see what is going on. After they explain their encounter with the adult Franklin, Sharon realizes that the man they are seeking is only seeking the comforts of his childhood. Asking Franklin where he would go to be safe if he couldn't be at home, Franklin tells them that he would stay at the Powers house. They make a quick run to the home of the Powers family where they convince the adult Franklin to accompany them home. Along the way back, the adult Franklin spots X Factor's ship looming over the New York skyline and doesn't think it should exist. Suddenly, he teleports out of the Fantastic Car. Ben tells Reed that the grown-up Franklin has disappeared. They quickly land, and within moments, both Reed and Forge have developed a device to track Franklin's unique energy signature. Detecting two identical signatures, the team splits up into two groups. Ben, Forge, and Sherry to search downtown, while Johnny... Oh, no, it's saying... Johnny goes with Ben, because it's saying he goes with Reed. No, Sue, Reed, and Banshee investigate elsewhere. With Reed's device, Ben and his group follow Franklin's energy signature towards X Factor's ship. Okay, see, here it is. This is what it should say. this story is continued simultaneously in the New Mutants Annual and the X Factor.
Yes. They're both part 2.
I know. Although, like I said, New Mutants is kind of more part 2 because, again, reading the others joined back up with everyone at the end of the X Factor Annual. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It makes more sense in
Mhm.
the grander scheme of the story. Yeah. It's so funny.
All right.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Justin, before we get to the backups, and we are getting to these backups on this.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. I enjoyed this. The art, I don't know. I like Jackson Geist, but I don't know if Jeff Isherwood was the best choice for inker for him because their styles I don't think go too great together. I don't know. There were some panels in this that the art was kind of off for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad, but yeah, it's not my
It's
favorite
not
art
bad,
of
but
this
it's
crossover now.
yeah, it just I don't know. It didn't seem to fit some of the sequences that were being told in this story, if that makes sense. It
Mhm.
just yeah, it felt like it should have been used for or for one of the backup stories, perhaps, or something like that.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was just something off about that for me. I loved seeing. I was reminded fondly of Ms. Marvel as the female Thing for a while when
Mhm.
Ben Grimm was a human and she was the Thing of the group because I that was such a brief moment in the Fantastic Four's history, and I love that. Um, yeah, it was all right. It was really confusing because at certain points, like when I first read this, I thought, is that Hank Pym in this big red jumpsuit with the blonde hair? Because it kind of looked like Hank Pym at first. And then no, it's Franklin, but I don't know. It's just something about the tone or the pacing of this story was off for me.
Yeah, like I say, as we get to the other annuals, yeah, there's like none of them are kind of like complete. There's little inconsistencies in them, but
Mm,
yeah.
hmm Yeah. Just it was a good story overall, but
Uh,
like I said before, I feel like it could have been a little bit better.
and then that one almost splash page where they're like strapped to the wall by the old Fantastic Four.
Oh,
It
yeah.
almost reminds me of like a Kirby page or something.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because like this art kind of almost worked for me for like the old Fantastic Four if they wanted an old timey wimey look. That's what they should have did. They should have had a different artist do the rest of the story and then had this team do just like the sequence where the old Fantastic Four was interacting
Yes.
with them to make it look
Yeah.
like all of a sudden we've like phased back to an old issue or something.
Right. Yeah, in one of these annuals, actually, there's 2 artists.
Yeah.
I think there's Terry Terry Shoemaker and then Chris Wozniak did the other half. So that yeah, they could have done that here too. They could have had Jackson Geist and Jeff Isherwood do this sequence with the old Fantastic Four. I think
And
that
I
would have been a lot more
yeah.
effective. Yeah.
And I don't think it helps getting people's hopes up because the cover is a John Byrne cover.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that cover and you're like, oh, here we go.
Oh, John Byrne, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burn.
Yeah. What did you think of this one, Phil? Did you like this one?
I mean, I liked it. Like I said, the art's not bad, but it's not my favorite art of this
Mm,
crossover. Yeah, the story was interesting, and again, it makes sense to start with the Fantastic Four since this Franklin is such a big part of this.
right. Yeah. That did make sense to open it with Franklin. Definitely. Yeah. He's the kind of like the focal point of this story. Yeah.
And again, it gives a reason for the Fantastic Four to be part of this X-Men crossover.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you said, like yeah, I again, this is like when I first started reading, like in the this era when Sharon was a thing and stuff. And it
Mhm.
again, it's such an original thing that wasn't done before. I think before or since, where it's like, yeah, for the first time, Ben Grimm is a human, but he's hanging around with the Fantastic Four while someone else is the thing
Yeah. Yeah,
for
it
like
was
an
such a
extended period
brief
of time. It's
moment.
not like an
Yeah, it was
issue or
such a
two. Yeah.
yeah, but it was a brief moment. It was like less than a year, I think, that happened. And it was such a cool time in the Fantastic Four. That dynamic had shifted so in such an interesting fashion.
No, it's a little
Yeah.
longer than a year, I think. Yeah, no, because yeah,
Was it?
327. It
Okay,
was like,
yeah, because
wasn't it the end of 326 or 327? Yeah. When Reed and Sue come back, yeah, like Reed's trying to cure Johnny because he can't shut off his
The
Nova flames
the
inferno.
supernova, yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden Ben gets tossed in there and transformed back,
Right.
and then he don't get changed back until what 350. I mean, for a while,
That's
especially I
right,
think
it was 350,
yeah,
yeah, the
because
Walt Simonson one.
yeah, because there was times here and there before that he was wearing that thing suit, that
Right, the
exoskeleton,
robotic suit,
mhm,
yeah.
which we'll see.
Yep.
I believe at least once or twice in Atlantis Attacks.
Yes, yes, we will, yeah. So funny. I wonder if that robotic thing suit is still kicking around in the attic somewhere in Fantastic Four's basement or whatever.
Didn't they pull that out and give it to some woman? And was it a few years ago? I didn't read the run, but it was like it wasn't the Fantastic Four book, but it was like a companion book. It's the one where they were off in space or something, and like
Oh, like the
Ant-Man had it like his own
Foundation
Fantastic Four. Yeah, the Future Foundation, I think. Yeah,
Future
so
Foundation.
yeah. And didn't they give the thing suit to somebody to use? It was some woman.
Oh, maybe.
Was it one of Johnny's exes or it was something weird, but
I love it. I've gotta read that if that
I forget
happens.
who. I really didn't read much of it, but yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah, 'cause I think it was like Scott Lang. I think it was Jennifer Walters. Who else was in there? It was. I think there was someone. Yeah, there was somebody else.
Wasn't the Dragon Man part of that? Because they reprogrammed the
Um,
Dragon Man for a while to be part of that?
I don't know. He was
I could
well when they did the Future Foundation thing with like the Fantastic Four members. Well, they did a whole weird thing too, where they killed off Johnny for a while, and Spider Man came in.
Right, that's right, Spider-Man was in that, yes. In that white suit, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I don't know what I know that thing suit was in one of those series. I don't know if they ever said
Mm,
whatever happened to it, if they kept it, if they destroyed it. I don't know.
mm, yeah.
It's a simple exoskeleton. Reed can build it up.
Yeah, I know, he can do that in his sleep.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, I love how they're coming back from a picnic, but meanwhile Ben Grimm's like in a trench coat and a fedora.
He never leaves home without that.
I know.
Yeah. It's like, "What are you doing?"
That was like his costume when as he's normal Ben Grimm
Yeah.
in this like year or two here. Yeah, it's just the trench coat and
Yeah. That's how you know it's him.
I mean, they should have showed. Oh yeah, you know why he wears that trench coat? Because it's got a lot of big pockets. He like
That's right.
starts pulling a Hank Pym and pulling all kinds of crap out of there.
There's one of the issues that we covered over on, Marvel Tales with their I think it was the Cross Time Caper.
Yes.
He had some big giant gun hidden in the pockets of that trench coat.
Oh yeah, the time bubble stuff. Yeah, he was.
The Time Bubble Saga. He blasts a bunch of the deviants with that thing.
Uh,
Big massive gun that he just hauls out of his trench coat. Do you feel lucky? Do you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get more into Ahab because it's seen
Mm.
in later issues of this crossover. They kind of made. I don't know if they were originally going to go with this idea, but it seems like they were kind of trying to make him the future version of somebody. But
Yes.
then I think
There's
then I
little
think
Easter
plans
eggs.
changed for someone, so they couldn't.
Yeah. They shifted that a little bit. Hmm.
Lots of hats. Oh, Forge is wearing a cowboy hat.
So funny.
All right. All right. Should we get to the backups in this?
Oh, yes, Volcana.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Which again, when we get to it, because I think it's that Korvac crossover. Yeah, it
Mhm.
kind of like stuff that happens in these backups kind of gets paid off in next year, the following year's FF annual.
Yes. Which we will cover in the future
Which I thought
on
that was
Marvel
cool.
Tales.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. They're like, oh yeah, next thing,
Yeah. That's cool.
following
Yeah.
up next year. All right. Yes, the next story is up here. Cast in fire, carved in stone. Is it not giving me the? Oh wait, I got to go up to get the creative team on that one. Yeah. That one is written by James Brock, penciler and inker Mark McKenna, colorist Brad Van Cata, letterer John Morelli, and editors Ralph Macchio and Michael Hessler. All right. Somewhere in New York City, Dr. Doom accesses his computers and pulls up his files on Marcia Rosenberg, aka Volcana. He pulls up her history, recalling how during the Secret Wars he endowed Marcia and Skeeter McFerrin with superpowers to bolster his supervillain army, and how she developed a close relationship with Owen Reese, aka the Molecule
The
Man.
Molecule Man himself.
The Molecule Man, yes! Yes!
The most powerful being in the whole universe.
More recently, Doom recalls how during a confrontation with the Shaper of Worlds, Cubic, the Molecule Man and the Beyonder were merged together into a cosmic cube. Suspecting that Reese may have endowed her with a portion of his power before seemingly sacrificing himself, Doom decides that she requires further observation and has gone to investigate Volcana after receiving reports of her battle against the Wizard. In the aftermath of the battle with the Wizard, Volcano explains the battle with the police when she is informed that her friend Annie was trampled by a fleeing mob of people during the fight. Convincing the officer, man, well, girls named Annie have no luck in the Marvel universe because it's here, and that wasn't that Jean Grey's friend's name Annie, who like
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. It's a curse.
Man, treating them like some redheaded orphans, man. What's wrong with her? She has no people. Convincing the officer to give her a gas mask to conceal her identity, Marcia is driven to the local hospital to check on her friend. As Dr. Doom scans for energy readings outside, Marcia regrets ever letting her friend come to harm. Giving up on waiting for her friend, Marcia decides to leave, unaware that through a sheer force of will, she's causing all those injured at the hospital to suddenly be healed. One of those patients is Moonstone, who has been in a coma for some months.
Ooh.
Awakening from it, Moonstone revitalizes her powers and goes on a rampage on the hospital grounds. When the officer driving her stops to shoot at Moonstone, the villain retaliates, diving at the officer to push him out of the way. And Marcia is surprised when she suddenly turns into hard volcanic rock instead of the magma form she is more commonly used to.
I thought that was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Incapacitated by a blast, Volcana is unable to stop Moonstone from grabbing the officer and breaking his wrist. Volcana revives and frees the officer and continues her battle with Moonstone. Their battle takes them to a construction site. Although Moonstone has the upper hand, Marcia eventually prevails, defeating Moonstone and leaving her tied up in chains for the authorities. Marcia then flees the scene. Having seen enough, Dr. Doom returns to his hideout to go over his data and is convinced that Owen Reese must have given a portion of his power to Marcia and begins plotting how to claim it for himself.
That's what he does.
And a nice change of pace. Doom is trying to figure out how to steal someone's power.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you think of this one, Phil?
I like this one, yeah, because
me too,
again, this one, and I remember what comes next year. Yeah, I like these.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Volcana because I remember her from Secret Wars, the first one, very fondly. I thought she was great, and I'll never forget. I think there was a sequence that made me fall in love with her. There was some fight that took place where she fought with one of the members of the wrecking crew. I think it was Pile Driver, and she ended up like stomping his face into the mud at the end of it with her foot. She was just jamming his face in the mud puddle. I was like, oh my god, wow, I love her. She's fantastic. Let's see some more of this. So yeah, whenever she shows up, she's a very underused character. Which is surprising given her powers and just what a unique character she is. They just kind of fob her off as being, oh, Molecule Man's superpowered girlfriend, but there's so much more to her than that. And so I love these little spotlights on her where you get to see her without him even anywhere involved in the story.
And again, it's like, well, I think in this era too, she doesn't get the respect because it's like her outfit, quote unquote, is basically just a one-piece bathing suit.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Because as I'm sure you are aware, she was shown up recently in Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, I was happy to see her in there. Yeah.
Yes.
And I always liked too the fact that she was a little bit more curvy. She wasn't the typical
Yes.
like beautiful like supermodel stick thin waist with the impossibly long legs. She was always like a average build, like a regular person
Yeah.
build. I
Yeah.
love that. I thought, yeah, that's a real woman right there. I love it. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
because even like her and like Titania before he transformed her, I mean, they're
Mhm.
both basically just normal women. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
oh
I
yes,
love
but
that.
the whole incident where Molecule Man and Beyonder become a cosmic cube was in Fantastic Four 319, which we are gonna cover. We have to cover one day. Remember that's where they were
Oh,
going.
yes.
Remember that's where they were going when Reed and Sue
Yeah.
saw them in that Silver Surfer
Yes.
story we just covered not too long.
Yeah, they saw them passing in the window. They're what? Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
As Doom's like, well, whatever they're doing, it's not important. We gotta
Yeah.
find Beyonder.
Pay no attention to those people in the window.
Meanwhile, there's a big fight with Galactus and cosmic beings, but
Yeah, the
yeah,
elders of the
they're not important.
universe,
Yeah,
and
Doom's
yeah,
like,
no
that's
big
not important.
deal. Yeah, whatever. The in-betweener. Yeah.
And oh my god, this story, Doom just watching her with his bloodshot eyes.
I know. Yeah. Eesh.
But yeah, no, I like this because I was gonna say I think like backup story wise, I think this annual might be the strongest out of the four.
I think you're right too. Yeah. Yeah. Just on the merits really of this story alone, it's really, really good.
Mm.
It's a great spotlight on Volcano.
And again, she is. I mean, even though she is rocking some of the cosmic Q power, I mean, yeah, I mean, she does pretty good. I mean, she's fighting Moonstone.
Moonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moonstone is like top tier villain. Like she's super powerful. She's super intelligent. She knows how to manipulate people like nobody else.
Mm.
Yeah, she's a multifaceted supervillain. Yeah. Yeah,
You
this
know,
is a great story.
yes, it was. You know what I forgot to do again? Forgot to put the covers up. Well, at least I remembered her for the first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. All right. All right. So, any more thoughts on Volcano? Should we get to the last story?
Well, I liked the also the callback to Moonstone's previous appearance, where she fought the Avengers with the Masters of Evil, and
Yes.
she was still recovering because during her fight with Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, she slammed into the side of some cliff face and broke her neck or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked that little bit of continuity there from the Under Siege storyline. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so weird because her head, she has like the short cropped hair here, almost like a buzz cut. Yeah, because
right.
I'm used to the long hair on her. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very different look.
it's yeah, it's funny like in this when she has the Moonstone costume on, you can't see her hair at all. I'm like, that's different.
Yeah, yeah.
Future Thunderbolt here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, Doom gets his fancy man cloak and walks out of the room.
Yeah.
All right.
He's all style.
That's right. There's that burn cover.
Yeah, that's great. I love that cover.
All right, so I think it's the last story in this issue. Beyond and Back. Writer Len Kaminsky, penciler Greg Capullo. Wow, Kaminsky, Capullo, man, there's some inkers. Larry Malstead, colorist Suzanne Del Orto, letterer Ken Lopez, and editors once again, yeah, Ralph Macchio and Michael Hessler. All right, so somewhere out in time and space, a cosmic cube suddenly explodes, sending one beam of energy flowing toward Earth. Check out next year's annual. While the other, formerly the being known as the Beyonder, remakes itself in a female form, calling itself Cosmos with a K. Cosmos is met by Cubic, also with a K. Well, two Ks actually. Another fellow evolved cosmic cube has come to teach her the secrets of the universe. Cubic takes Cosmos on a tour of the universe, showing her great destructive forces like the Phoenix Force, and the cosmic observers known as the Watchers. Single-minded individuals of great power, such as the Mangog, Overmind, and the Eternals Unimind. He also shows her the High Evolutionary, the Stranger, before moving on to great cosmic beings who are involved in evolutionary change, such as Eon, the Celestials, and the mystical Vishanti. He then shows her the great evils of the universe: Mephisto, Despair, Dweller in Darkness, Shumagorath, Thanos, Satanish, and Chiton. But he reveals that everything serves a part of the embodiment of the universe, that is eternity. He then shows her the absolutes of the universe: Death, Master Order, and Lord Chaos, and their minion, the In-Betweener, as well as the Living Tribunal and Galactus, explaining that the universe is made up of many things, both big and small. All right. So, what you think?
Pretty far out stuff, man.
I know. Well, it's not the core of like cosmic Marvel. It's like,
yeah. I love it because if you were new to Marvel Comics in 1990, like this was a perfect primer for all of the cosmic, like really high level cosmic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Fantastic Four is a good place for a story like this. You could have had it in the Silver Surfer Annual or something too, and it would work just as well. But yeah, having it here is great because there was a story right around this time involving these two, if I remember right, in the Fantastic Four title.
Yeah, it was a fill-in issue. It was issue 351 because it kind of like
oh right, it was right after.
Yeah, and they kind of tested Fantastic Four. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, it was like a fill-in, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the precursor to that story, I guess.
Yeah, if we ever need like a one and done Fantastic Four, yeah, that's where we should go.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, this is cool. I always like these really high level, far out cosmic stories, and listing all of the entities like the Overmind and the Unimind and the Stranger and all that. It's cool. Yeah, I love it. It's like a who's who of the of the super powerful galactic echelon in Marvel.
Oh, see, I wasn't sure about where Marsha was battling the Wizard, but yeah, Marvel Comics presents 88.
Oh, okay.
So
cool. We'll have to do like a Volcana on Volcana week or something on Marvel Tales sometime and do a bunch of Volcana stories.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a month to the Lost Library of Legends so we can mention it every 2 seconds.
That's right.
Maybe we'll do like underserved characters. Yes.
Yes. We'll do a crossover.
Okay, and I don't want to say Doom was overplayed at this point, but Dr. Doom appears here between Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger 13 and Impossible Man Summer Vacation #1.
Impossible Man? Wow.
Impossible Man Summer Vacation #1.
I don't remember that at all.
Neither
yeah, he's a busy guy, that Victor. He's all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I'm always going to say, I'm like, what happened to Cosmos? The Beyonder has remade himself into the female form of Cosmos, starting in this story. The Beyonder remains in this form until it is killed in Annihilation Silver Surfer #3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. When was this? Because that was in 2006. So yeah. So okay. So Cosmos hung around for like 16 years. Okay.
That's pretty. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because didn't was it Bendis or something? There was some story where I swear like the Beyonder was back or something, and I don't know.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So maybe. Yeah, because I thought Bendis was trying to say, "Oh yeah, the Beyonder's not really a Beyonder. He was just like a insane inhuman or something." So, but again, kids, Bendis.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Take it with a pound of salt.
It's a Bendis story. I'll tell you where you're getting pounded too.
Yeah.
Oops! Did I say that out loud? All right, should we get to the New Mutants Annual?
Yes,
All right.
the
All right.
proper part 2.
Yeah, I'll do the credits. Like I said, there's no synopsis, so we'll kind of walk through this. All right, let me get the link here. Yep. All right, so New Mutants, the official part 2, kids. New Mutants Annual 6 from July 1990. Again, the once and future mutant. Writer Louise Simonson, penciler Terry Shoemaker, and Chris Wozniak. Inkers Scott Williams, Alan Milgram, Art Thibert, and Harry Candelario. So 4 inkers.
Jeez, wow.
Mm-hmm. Colorist Brad Van Cotta, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Bob Harris. All right. Oh, is there a backup in this? Because I read this on the app. I don't think they've created the backup.
They didn't. Yeah, if there is one, there must be. I think
so.
Yes. Yeah, there is a couple of things in the table of contents. I can see it. Yeah.
I guess
one of them's a Rob Liefeld, though, so maybe it's just for the best.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I should have been lazy in the.
I don't have these floppies. I thought that I had them, but I guess I don't. Yeah.
You know what? I think I have them all. But yeah, I know I have all the X ones. I'm pretty sure I have the Fantastic Four one, but I know I have all the mutant ones. All right. That's there's a Liefeld cover.
Oh yeah. I panicked the first time I saw this. I was like, "Oh no! Please don't tell me he's doing the art in this one." Then I saw Terry Shoemaker's name. I was like, "Oh, thank God, we're in good hands."
All right. First inconsistency. Now he's in a green jumpsuit.
Yeah, the confusion continues.
Yes. So here we see him appear above Xavier's, which has been trashed, I believe, by Mr. Sinister during Inferno.
Inferno, yes.
Yeah. But Franklin puts it back the way he remembers it from the future, and puts himself in an X-Men suit.
Yeah. And that's when we see a glimpse into the future. Ahab, the a-hole, is preparing his hounds to go after in pursuit.
Yes. Because got another lock on Franklin. All right. So, boy, look at that scar above his eye.
Yeah. I wonder what that could mean. Yeah.
I don't know. So then we see the X-Men, the New Mutants working out in the
New Mutants, yeah. And Warlock is still around. I'm happy because the last time we talked about him, he had just died.
Yeah, because like I said, this takes place like a few months before Extinction Agenda.
So this made me happy. This is like Warlock's final hurrah here. Yeah, it was good.
And why does Boom Boom look like she should be working in a diner in the 50s?
I know. There's something about the look of her that's off here, and Cannonball.
Yeah.
Those two, like, there was something that looked off to me about both of them in this issue. But I cannot complain about Richter. I am I am a fan of the Richter, especially with his first look with just that ripped leather jacket vest. Oh my God. Yeah, that's some hot shit.
Wow, Justin, don't hold back. Tell us how you really.
You'll always get the truth from me, folks, whether you want it or not.
Biscuit. So yeah,
they're having a little training sequence that gets out of hand as per usual.
Boy, talking about a visible chest, man! Look at the hair on Harry Cable chest. Jeez.
Oh man, yeah. Yeesh. They didn't know what they were doing with him. Like every time that you see Cable in this era, his face, like everything about him looks different from artist to artist. They hadn't really settled on a definitive look for Cable yet.
I swear, and it's like every time you read him, it's like he's either in full body armor or he's like got like an open vest or something. It's like
It's so funny, and the phase too. The phase changes.
exactly.
Yeah,
So so after their little workout in the danger room, then all of a sudden Franklin shows up with like I
a
guess
group of future mutants, future
yeah.
X-Men,
I don't know if they're the newer mutants, but
the new mutants, the newest mutants, if you were.
yes.
I like the
Uh,
fact that there's a teleporter named Blue, who
mhm.
seems to be an obvious relation to Nightcrawler, but she can teleport whole groups of people instead of just herself. And yeah, Rachel Summers is in there. Looks
Mhm.
like, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Blue's like, oh, some of them look like the new mutants from the old photos, but the costumes are wrong, and some of them are dead.
Oh,
I'm assuming that's just because they come from the future, like a possible future. The whole some of them are
yeah,
dead. But I mean, this is boy in a few months that line's really
yeah.
gonna pay off with Warlock. Yeah.
Oh, poor Warlock. Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, and then a version of Doug Ramsey.
Doug Ramsey, called the Megas. Yeah, he'd been
Yeah.
bonded with the techno-organic virus, with the phalanx.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cannonball's like freaking out. He's like, why are you doing this, Cable? That's cruel. Doug's dead. And
And
Cable's like, no, this isn't part of this. This isn't part of the scenario. No, they're real.
he's cruel, but he's not that cruel. He's not going to play mind games with him like that.
Yeah.
Parading their dead friends in front of him. Yikes.
So he's like trapped in the control room trying to get out, and then the
And the
two groups start.
fight breaks out. Yeah.
Yep.
Richter goes nuts. He's keep away from her, monster. Yeah,
So
this is great. This battle is excellent. Yeah.
like Cable like blows a hole in the wall, and then tells them this way, and then they come across someone who's supposed to be like an older Banshee.
Mm-hmm.
Got the beard, got the eye
Yeah.
patch.
Long hair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, listen, is he missing a hand too?
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
cyborg hand. Yeah.
But they're like, oh, Banshee, what happened to you? And then the future mutants show up, and
Fight continues. Yeah. Yeah. And Cable's face changes again.
I love Cable shows up, and the old Banshee goes, Cable, what are you doing here, man? I thought you were in match report. He's like, look again, I'm not the Cable you think I am.
I'm part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His face looks different in every different appearance. It's so funny.
But then it turns out, all these future mutants are basically part of Franklin's future or dream cells.
Mm-hmm. Yep. His power is making them actually substantially real.
Oh yeah, because I guess at some future date, Franklin was a student here, or will be a student here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they even look outside, and it looks like a dystopian future.
Yeah.
But no, even like Phantom Banshee's like, no, don't hurt your friends. You mustn't harm them.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of breaks the illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit of a freak out.
It's as if we were talking to a ghost who wouldn't accept dying.
Oh. It's a pretty accurate summary of events. Yeah.
We already kind of called it out.
Yeah, basically.
That's when Reed, Sue, and young Banshee come swooping in with Franklin. Young Frank.
Right. Yeah, this timeline's Franklin.
This is when the Fantastic Four first meet Cable, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then they're attacked by the Hound and a bunch of the robots that have been dispatched from the future.
And young Franklin seemed pretty tired.
Yeah.
All right, inconsistency at least number 2. Sue stopped on the way up to Westchester to get a haircut.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah. Maybe there was something in the Fantastic car that she used on the way
Oh,
over.
maybe, yeah.
It's like, you know what? I need to go into battle with a fresh cut. Let's do this real quick on the way.
Then one of the hounds grabs young Franklin, but then Wolfsbane tries to save him, and she kind of gets shocked.
Yeah, she gets blasted. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it breaks her ribs too. They say later.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she took a really hard blast there from that dude. I can't remember what his name is. The Hound in this issue. I think he had a name, but I don't recall it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but he basically gives them the info dump on Ahab and everything.
Yeah, at the very end, yeah, because Richter hits him with such a powerful seismic blast that it kind of shakes the control, like the mind programming that Ahab did to him. And so he just kind of info dumps like all of this stuff in the space of one panel.
Basically,
and then Ahab shows up and lances him with a harpoon. Betrayer, you have revealed too much.
Oh no, the first thing he shows up, dog of a hound.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically vaporizes him with that harpoon.
Yeah. For which Richter blames himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't be a New Mutants issue without some angst.
Exactly. And again, and then yeah, they all decide to join up with everyone else in Manhattan. So they all take. But again, it's weird here because basically Cable says they're all going. Even Wolfsbane and Reed's like, "Do you think that's why she's injured?" And Cable's like, "I'm not gonna leave her here by herself, because she's injured. And what if Ahab or old Franklin come back or anything?
Comes back, right? Yeah.
But then meanwhile, I don't think we see her after this issue.
I don't think so either.
Even in that even in the last part where like pretty much everyone's together, I don't think we see her again.
Yeah. If she's there, she's just in the background. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. And here's where the art changes too.
Yes.
In the sequence. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they take off and Franklin goes to the American Museum of Natural History. And I guess he just like recreating a scene he had or a day with Rachel here.
Rachel, yeah. Yep.
The Sentinel attacks and blasts him.
Accompanied by another hound from the future.
Yeah, they're basically like, he seems impervious. What's going on?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Reed, Sue, and the New Mutant, and Banshee and the New Mutants show up.
And another fight breaks out.
Yeah. And then one of the hounds this time blasts Richter, and he's like, "Our master Ahab is wise. He has shown us the way to deal with you and all your kind."
And then Cable lashes out, "Die, back devil spawn, die!" He shoots him with his machine gun.
I know, it looks like he's got a Gatling gun.
Yeah. He's not messing around. And then the adult Franklin has another freak out.
Yeah. Freak out. Basically says his parents, the New Mutants, hounds will track them down. Sentinels will destroy them unless. He says, "Wasn't fair. I was happy. Father, don't say don't. Always don't. My power's dangerous. My power's bad. But Father, don't you see? They deserve to die." But yeah, basically just blows all the Sentinels away.
Wipes them out. Yeah. The massive psionic blast. Yeah.
And then like young Franklin's all freaked out.
He's horrified. Yeah.
He's like, "Mommy, you killed them all." Yeah. Because he's like, they were innocent before they got turned into hounds.
And the adult Franklin notices this.
Yeah, because young Franklin's like, "You're bad. I'm bad."
Yeah. And he goes over to him and essentially shuts off the young Franklin's powers, like deactivates them, which in turn puts him into a coma. Oops.
And basically like old Franklin saying, that future will never come to pass and we will be destroyed. And he's like, you mean Freed's like, Franklin's powers could have saved us at some future juncture and now they'll never develop? But yeah, Cannonball's like, we saw you in the future leading the New Mutants. He's like, a dream, a memory of a future that will never be. But yeah, here old Franklin says, without young Franklin's cooperation, without his belief in himself, I cannot change what we did together. The mind locks were double set. You see, by Franklin old and Franklin new, all our will has gone into setting them. He will never have powers now. I never did have powers. Then we just see Ahab in the future laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Evil.
So yeah, Franklin's alive and breathing, but he won't wake up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on that last page, Richter's talking the Sunspot. Of course, he has to mention, have any of you noticed how much Cable looks like Ahab?
Yes. About that. I know, isn't that funny? Yeah.
Hey, for any of you who are a little slow in the uptake, hey, did you notice he looks like Cable?
Yeah. Why is that?
Oh, Lord. And like I said, I think there were backups, but not on the app.
Yeah, it looks like there's at least 2, but
yeah, I thought on the notes it said maybe something about a Peter David one, maybe.
Oh, okay. I'll have to track down the floppies of these. I
yeah,
want to have these.
I'll have to look at this one when we're done. I know I have this one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a oh wait, yeah, there's no synopsis for it, so I can't even give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, of course. Part of the Days of Future Present event, while labeled on the cover as Part 3, this story is actually Part 2.
Oops.
Oh, this is what we got robbed of. This issue includes 2 bonus pin-ups by Rob Liefeld.
Bummer, dude. All right, I'll take it.
The future New Mutant. Oh, one of the future New Mutants. One of their members was not named in the story itself. He was retroactively identified as Cudgel years later in official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
Cudgel.
Kudgel. Yeah.
Okay, Cudgel.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I guess one of the Rob Liefeld pinups was it says a glimpse into the future.
Oh, okay.
So they're saying technically kind of this is the first appearance of Shatterstar. He's in that pinup.
I see. All right.
Which they must have changed course on some of this because a lot of these people in this pinup didn't make it to X-Force.
Yes. This must have been early. Wolfsbane was there.
Warlock is in this pinup. We know he didn't make it.
Yeah.
Looks like magic because you got the sword and stuff. So
oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
yeah, this must have been early on in the.
And there's no Domino, but there's a blonde. There's a blonde there.
Oh, wow. We never saw her.
Yeah.
With impossibly long legs.
Mm-hmm.
Stick waist. Remember what I was saying earlier about impossible proportions? Yeah.
Is that a mutant power? The only fat in your body goes to your chest?
Yeah.
Deflects kinetic attacks.
The power of mesmerism.
Oh yeah. All right. So should we get to the X Factor annual?
Yes. Yeah.
Told you these had a lot of story in them, kids. All right. There we go. Look at that Ahab.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
Part 3. X Factor Annual 5, again from July 1990. Acts of Faith, Days of Future Present Part 3. Writer Louise Simonson, penciler John Bogdanov, inker Al Milgram, colorist Brad Vancata, letterer Joe Rosen, and editors David B. Schwartz, Susan Gaffney, and Bob Harris. Well, X Factor is playing Jai Alaya. I guess that thing where they had the things on their hands, but I don't know what.
Yeah, Jai Alaya. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Scott and Jean bicker. A grown-up Franklin flies over New York City and decides that ship doesn't belong there. He dematerializes it. The Fantastic Four explain that they were attacked by Franklin and call on X Factor for help. Rachel attacks Franklin and is repelled. Jean meets her and refuses to believe that she is her daughter. Sentinels attack Franklin atop the Chrysler building, and X Factor and the Fantastic Four destroy them. Ahab uses his harpoon to turn Rachel back into his hound, but fails. He and his hounds battle X Factor and the Fantastic Four and the New Mutants beneath the Statue of Liberty torch. Statue of Liberty. Torch and Bobby destroy Ahab's portal and reveal his machinery, which Scott destroys. Ahab and his hounds are immediately sucked to their own time. Franklin reappears and tells Scott that his son will be a powerful mutant, but he should never have been born, so he takes him away.
Ooh.
Oh, my Lord. I mean... Can you imagine?
You're looking at that panel of Scott at the end.
I know, it looks like he was like shriveling up or something. I remember the first time I was reading it, I'm like, what did he do to him? I'm like, all the moisture out of his body? What the hell happened? Can I swear his face looked half skeletal? He's like,
I know, it looked like he was like decomposing before.
And he just hits the ground. It looks like he hit the ground and was just twitching like.
Yeah. What did he do to him?
You know what? The perfect title for this issue would have been, since Franklin makes the ship disappear, Ship Happens.
Yeah, Ship Happens. Yeah. I was bummed about that. I loved that big ship.
I know, it comes back though.
So cool.
I'm trying to remember. Did they put it back in this crossover? But it does come back.
I know it comes back, but I feel like it wasn't around long enough. I love that big old ship.
Yeah, kind of like their last, like towards the end of the original team's run, they blow it up. But
yeah, I was bummed to see it go. But
I know.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool. Such a cool concept for them just to have this big old alien ship to tool around in.
Well, I was gonna say, doesn't it come back later? Is it part of like? Does Cable do something with? Isn't that?
That Gray Malkin thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's linked to it.
Had something to do with that, like part of it.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Trying to.
Yeah, this was a good issue. I really liked the art in this, and I loved the X Factor Fantastic Four team up. That's cool stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, Iceman and Human Torch. Fire and ice, baby.
Fire and ice, baby. Yeah, I love it. Now, I had forgotten about this. I thought that Rachel Summers and Jean Grey had already met before this, and that they had already had this discussion about, Jean, you're my mom. Like, I thought that had already happened before this.
I don't know.
I guess not.
I guess, yeah, because again, by the time she came back, were they already in England, maybe, or?
Well, I thought that it happened during the Uncanny X-Men stuff, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Like a couple years prior to this, before the whole X-Men in Australia, the whole Death of the X-Men, Fall of the Mutant stuff. I feel like it happened then. Maybe during the was it the Alpha Flight and X-Men crossover?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like they had that conversation then. Or maybe I'm getting that mixed up with something else.
Well, again, I mean, unless they just saw each other in a room and didn't exchange words or something, because again, it's like Scott had met her and he was like, oh, "You're my daughter from the future." It's like,
really? Right? Yeah.
You're on a team together, dude.
Yeah.
I know. I guess a redhead telekinetic from the future. Oh, I wonder whose kid you could be.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Using the Phoenix Force, no less. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. But yeah, I guess I was wrong about that, I guess. I thought that they had that conversation in a previous issue a couple years prior to this, but I was wrong. I know that in an Excalibur issue later on, they have a much better conversation. Like they've moved past this initial
Mhm.
stuff because Jean is not receptive to this at all. She's very much like, holy, I can't handle this.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's why whole she's bickering with Scott because again she has what Madeline Pryor's memories now and
right.
from the Phoenix, so feels like she's not in control of her own destiny. That everything's already preordained for her.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe that's what I was thinking about. Maybe it was Rachel and Madeline Pryor that met.
Oh, maybe.
That's possible. Yeah.
Two things. Okay, in some of these X Factor issues, like including this one, I'm not complaining, but it seems like they give Jean Grey some booty, man.
They do.
They do.
Yeah, she's filling out that X Factor
I
uniform.
swear, yeah. This era of X Factor,
Yeah.
I swear, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just John's art, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
Jean Grey.
Well, he does. Yeah, he does give the woman some booty. He does. Yeah.
Booty
But
looks good all the time.
he also gives the men some great looking pecs, so it's all
Mhm.
good for everybody all around.
Again, these '90s makeovers.
Yeah, yeah.
All
He
right.
did that shirtless Cyclops in that Extinction issue.
Oh
cover.
yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
And not to get too dark, but when the ship disappears and Cyclops' sun starts plummeting towards the ground, and
Oh yeah.
have to fly real quick and catch him, I'm like, had he hit the ground, how much crap would have went? How much temporal crap would have went down? It would have been like, wait a minute, where'd Cable go? What? Who's Cable?
I know if Archangel had missed, like there would have been so much stuff that happened. They wouldn't have been able to handle it all.
Would have been a new, well, the original Age of Apocalypse would have been like, wait a minute, timeline whole changes.
That could have been its own what if issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, X Factor faced enough menaces. That should be a what. I mean, that'd be a dark what if. But yeah, what if he'd been killed as a baby before he went to the future?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, this was good. Yeah, I liked this one.
And again, I guess we're trying to whittle down the numbers for that final part because again, Iceman and Archangel get hurt in this one, like Wolfsbane was in the last one. So
right,
they're kind of going to be out of it.
That makes sense.
I mean, Archangel kind of has like a hole through that harpoon went through him.
It went literally through his body. Yes,
front to back.
And at one point, like Beast thinks he's dead. Like he flies into a rage, thinking they killed him. Yeah.
I mean, like he looks really beasty there. Yeah, when he grabs Ahab. Yeah.
Yeah, I love John Bogdanovich's Beast. I think it looks he looks so great in this issue. Yeah. And that panel of Iceman and the Human Torch using their powers together, great. It's so awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a team up that needs to happen more. Johnny Storm and Bobby Drake.
Oh yeah.
And not just for my fanfics.
Oh my. But yeah, I mean, kids, I should have pulled this to show on the screen. But I mean, yeah, that Cyclops, that always gets. Yeah, look at him. He's like,
he looks like he's dying.
It looks like he's 100. I mean,
like,
his face. Like,
I love it. It's so funny.
All right. But yeah, anything else? Because hold on. Do I have a synopsis? Again, there's no backup stories on the app.
Oh yeah, they didn't have this. Yeah. But there. I don't even see a table of contents, so it doesn't list what.
Oh, there was a Peter. There was a Peter David story in this one.
Oh, okay.
It was tribute the first. Jean lays flowers at Phoenix's grave, which is marked with her own name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then she must meet some woman, who tells her about how she was a rich Jewish girl who had been sent to Nazi concentration camp. Feel good story. Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She was allowed to live because she could dance ballet for the commandant. She moved to America, married Sam, and was rejected by her aunt for marrying outside their faith. She is an example to Jean of how to have many lives and yet remain true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, speaking of weirdness, yes, Jean was laying flowers on a grave that had her name on it.
Yeah. Where's that Twilight Zone music, Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Just another day in the life of the X-Men, folks.
Should have taken her future daughter to
And the future son, too. Why not?
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, Cable comes back, he's older than his parents. But yeah, Jean she absorbed Madeline Pryor and the Phoenix Force duplicate of Jean's memories in X Factor 38. Oh god, yeah. Cyclops knew that Rachel was from Days of Future Past, but Rachel was afraid to tell him the truth while others kept quiet. There was backups in this too. Was
it more than just the Jean Grey one?
There's a Dale Keown one of that's not what it said. Oh yeah, Beast and Jean Grey.
Ooh, nice.
Speaking of booty. Look at that twist.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, that's some good artwork.
Oh, and then I guess the pinup was a sneak preview of what is that? Is that Love Hurts or whatever?
Oh yeah.
You know what? I just read that for the first time not too long ago. We need to cover that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like that. That Young's really good. Well, again, I love his arts ever since.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. He was exceptional back then. Yeah.
All right, we're going long. Should we get to the last one?
Yes. The thrilling conclusion.
So let's add some more cast members to this.
But actually, not many more though.
No.
Yes, not that many more.
The X-Men are scattered. All right, so final part, X-Men Annual 14, of course, from July 1990. You must remember this. Writer, of course, Chris Claremont. Penciler, Arthur Adams. Inkers, Dan Green, Arthur Adams, Steve Moncues, Art Thibert, and Bob Wycheck. So yes, 5 inkers, kids. Damn. Colors, Brad Van Cotta. Letterers, Kevin Cunningham, Tom Morzowski, and Tomoko Saito. So 3 letterers. And editors, Susan Gaffney and Bob Harris. Rachel Summers sits in a restaurant eating a burger. Yes, action-packed. She thinks of the times in her past that she was unable to do this because she acted as a hound for Ahab. While contemplating this, 3 armed men enter and tell everyone to hand over their money. Rachel ignores them and then finally uses her powers to turn their guns into scrap metal. She turns and sees a familiar face outside and runs outside. The person is gone and she flies up into the sky. And using her powers and unleashing the Phoenix, she has sent out a mental cry and has been heard by various telepathic listeners in the city. She runs into the figure as she flies around the city. It is Franklin Richards from her timeline. She cannot believe it and wonders why she should trust him. He tells her to scan his thoughts and then kisses her. Yeah, scan this, baby. Later in Ford Freedoms Plaza, they both meet with X Factor and the Fantastic Four. Franklin tells everyone they're going to start a new life together. All are astounded and wondered what he has done with Nathan Summers. This Earth, I'm sure Cable was very interested. This Earth, Franklin Richards and the X Factor ship. As they question him, he mentally stops them from continuing their interrogation. Jean Grey tells Rachel that she is not sure how to react to the recent revelation that she has a daughter from another timeline. Rachel and Franklin take off, and the others try to come up with a plan on how to deal with Franklin's abilities to alter reality. It says at the X Mansion. What's left of the X Mansion? Gambit. And again, this is another thing that's come up. They're saying this is Gambit's first true appearance because chronologically, that Uncanny issue comes first story-wise, but I guess this went on sale first.
Oh.
So they're saying that technically this is Gambit's first appearance.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the
Like,
annual came out before that issue.
I
Oh,
didn't remember
wow.
that, but yeah, so they're saying that. Not that he does much, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the younger Storm arrive and survey the damage since they have been gone and Mr. Sinister destroyed the mansion. They enter in a secret hatch and go underground. They are met by Cable and the new mutants who think of them as intruders and attack. Forge stops them and they go over a plan of attack on Franklin Richards. And just the freaked out look on Forge's face when he sees young Storm, because he's been busting after her for how long, and now she's like,
right.
Oh!
Now she's a kid. He's like, oh, what?
Oh, damn.
He's like, I hate being an X-Man.
Exactly. They make Cable new mutants there. Forge stops them and they go over a plan of attack on Franklin Richards. Back at Four Freedoms Plaza, Sue and Cyclops talk alone upstairs. While they are talking about Jean Grey's induction into X Factor, suddenly Sentinels appear and zap them from behind. Ahab stands over them with eyes glaring. Downstairs, X Factor, the Fantastic Four, New Mutants meet and determine that they need to go after Rachel and save her from Franklin. Ahab has already tied up Cyclops and Sue and then uses his machines to convert them into his hounds. And they take off in search of Rachel and Franklin. They soon find them in the park with Nathan Summers. An attack ensues and Ahab traps them all. He takes them back to Four Freedom Plaza and ties them up. Soon the heroes enter, and after seeing Rachel and Franklin being held by Ahab, they attack Ahab. They fight off his hounds and even battle Cyclops and Sue. Cable finally reaches Ahab and looks at his face and is taken aback.
Oh.
Ahab asks if he notices someone he knows and then knocks Cable away. Ahab finally activates an energy field on the floor that incapacitates all the mutants. Only Franklin is safe and he attacks Ahab's machines. Ahab turns to leave and tells Rachel to come with him. She refuses and he throws a harpoon at her. Jean Grey tries to stop it and cannot. She then jumps in front of the weapon and takes a hit to the chest. Ahab tells them he will be back and then vanishes. The team regains their composure and uses the machines around them to heal their wounds. Franklin realizes that he is just a memory that little Franklin has made, and that is why Franklin is in a coma while he exists. What's more than that, wasn't it? Yeah, from Days of Future Past when he gets zapped by that Sentinel, like with his dying act, he like sends his dream self back in.
Yeah. Exactly.
He picks up Franklin and steps into one of the machines, and Phoenix suddenly regains her powers as Franklin disappears. Little Franklin finally wakes up from his coma. They all figure out that all that has happened during Franklin's adventures and all reverts back to normal. Rachel suddenly is in her hound outfit and fears that she did not change the future and takes off, crying. Everyone says their goodbyes. Later, Jean Grey finally realizes that Rachel is family. Yeah, because that damn crystal. All right. Thoughts?
I love this one. I mean, anything with Arthur Adams artwork, and I'm automatically happy with it, regardless of what it is. And I felt like overall, this was a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
It had kind of, I wouldn't say a resolution to the stuff with Jean and Rachel, but it did have it did flesh that out a little bit more. I will say that overall, I thought that the romance between Franklin and Rachel was kind of weird. Maybe because there wasn't really a precursor to it that I remember from any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed kind of shoehorned in so that there could be some type of way to tie this stuff all together.
Yeah.
It just never seemed genuine to me, this romance.
Yeah, and then like the X Factor annual, it seems like she doesn't remember him really, but then she all of a sudden shows up at the beginning of this one, and she's like, "Oh, hey, lover boy,"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she's calling Scrapper and stuff. Like, it's weird.
Unless it's because his dream self was kind of like powering himself off the Phoenix Force. Unless that had something to do with it.
Maybe. Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, hey, the robbers that robbed the diner in the beginning. Did you recognize them?
No.
They are drawn to resemble Clarence Broderick, Broddicker and his gang from the 1987 film RoboCop.
Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, I do see it now. Okay. Wow, that's funny. And I liked how the scene when Phoenix was kind of sending out the psychic call, and you saw Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, but you also saw just some regular people that probably had telepathic powers or some type of heightened senses. And I like that when you just have the regular people that you don't know. Oh, what's that? I could feel something weird in my head. Yeah, that's cool. I like this because like we said, there wasn't really an X-Men team at the time. Really, I think that Forge and Banshee and a couple of other people on Muir Island were the only ones kind of keeping the flame burning, so to speak, because the school was destroyed, as we saw. A lot of them thought that most of the X-Men were dead or vanished, disappeared.
I mean, I applaud their restraint that they didn't feel the need to force Wolverine back in the story because there was too much going on. Although he is in the backup story,
right? Yeah, but I appreciated that too. The fact that they left him out of it. Yeah,
but that backup is so weird. It's Wolverine, Jubilee, and Psylocke in Madripoor, and all of a sudden Franklin and Rachel just appear and like start having basically Rachel and Wolverine start basically having this discussion about I don't know killing and stuff.
It's so weird,
just random. I guess they felt the need. They had to have Wolverine somewhere, and it had to make a tie-in, which I don't know why it was a backup story.
Well, I don't even see the need to tie them into it in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. It could have just had a Madripoor adventure. It had nothing to do with Rachel or Frank.
There's an unlimited amount of stories that they could have done in Madripoor with the three of them. Totally. Yeah, they didn't need to tie this into this main story.
And half the backup story just seemed like an excuse to like tell you history of the X-Men. It was basically like, when Chuck Xavier started the X-Men.
Exactly. It was a stroll down memory lane.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Again, like I said, unless they felt the need to shoehorn him, Wolverine in somewhere.
Yeah, well, I guess it's weird, but we did get some great pinups in this one too from Kevin Nowlan.
Yes,
and Michael Golden, which was a alternative cover to the annual. So cool. I was surprised. Yeah, the first time I read this, I was surprised that Sue and Cyclops were transformed into the Hounds. I thought, oh wow, I wasn't expecting to see that happening. Out of all the characters to be transformed, I wasn't expecting those two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's the way for both the X Factor and Fantastic Four to be emotionally invested.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, but Rachel says something that's her Aunt Sarah told her something that occurred in a Bizarre Adventures 27 that it was an incident with a certain friend of ours, Atuma.
It's not Atuma.
You're ready for 9 weeks of that on Marvel Tales.
That's right, Marvel Tales.
We're going to cover an Atlantis attack. Oh. That's another one I never read. Bizarre Adventures 27.
Yeah, I didn't read that either. Yeah.
Oh my. Secret Lives of the X-Men, it says on the cover, and there's Phoenix, Nightcrawler, and Iceman, it looks like on the cover there. So.
Oh, okay. We should check that one out sometime.
Yeah, I wonder if it's on the app. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. The story of The first title. Oh no, that's the second title. The Brides of Atuma.
Oh.
It's not a tumor.
I'm sorry. That me.
Oh, I love it.
Mr.
We're gonna have so much fun.
Mr. Schwarzenegger, do you have a favorite Marvel character?
It's not a tumor.
Expect more than 9 weeks of this on Marvel.
Hey Arnold, who's your favorite monarch of Atlantis?
It's not a tumor.
Oh, God,
it's the guy with the pecs.
That's right.
Justin's like, I hear that. All right. Any other thoughts on this? We did go long.
No, I think
there's
that's
a lot of
Yeah,
content.
there's a lot of story here. There's a lot of story and a huge cast of characters. Huge cast of characters.
There's a lot of WTF right here.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I thought the romance between Franklin and Rachel was kind of weird. I don't know. I couldn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah.
And I felt like there wasn't really any resolution to the Ahab stuff. Like he just kind of was like, okay, well,
I'll get you next time.
I'll get you next time. And I mean, in Excalibur, there was a character that was introduced, and I should note it was way after they figured out what they were doing with Cable. So they jettisoned that whole subplot thing. But there was a character they introduced in Excalibur. I can't remember what his name was, Dr. Rory something or other. And he was supposed to be the beginnings of Ahab.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was like, oh, well, I've still got both my legs and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. The future's unwritten. And then in one of the stories, he loses one of his legs and gets a cybernetic one. And after that, he's like, oh, shit, I'm going to turn into Ahab now. Uh-oh. So, that was an interesting era for Excalibur. It was cool because they were kind of going back to this stuff and addressing that again.
Roderick Campbell? Is that what it's?
I think that's who it was.
Roderick
Campbell. Yeah. So it was cool that they went back to Ahab and continued that. I felt like that should have been fleshed out a little bit more. But despite the nature, kind of the anticlimactic ending, with that, I liked that there was some more stuff with the Jean and Rachel stuff. And
yes,
we did get some more development there. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see, Storm kind of being reintroduced to everybody, and yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah.
And again, Gambit really didn't do much for his first appearance. Like that splash page where they're all crashing in on Ahab to save like Scott and Sue. I swear, Gambit's like hit it in the back, or it's just almost like a tease. It's like, yeah, this guy's coming soon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just smoking cigarettes in the background while everybody else is doing the work. It's like, yeah, I don't have a dog in this fight, mon ami.
Je m'appelle Gambit. I'm going to stand in the corner.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's a good summation of days of future present.
Yes. And that's a nice segue because next month, we're going to deal more with the future as we cover the first 4 issues of X-Men 2099.
That's right.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorites. I want
to get into that because I haven't read a ton of that. So,
yeah. How much have you read? Have you read
probably just a few here and there. I might have read the first one. It's been a while since I even read them. So, what I did read,
I love it. It's a great series.
Yeah, what I remember is good, but yeah, like I said, I've only read a few, and the ones I did read are so long ago.
Yeah, well, going on 30 years now since it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I do remember, it was better than Hulk 2099.
Oh, God. That's not a high bar, admittedly, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's like, how's that smell? Well, it smells better than dog shit. All right. So, oh, it's late, kids. All right. So, yeah, send us your thoughts on this because, again, you can have plenty of thoughts on this. The upcoming X-Men 2099 stuff. Send us requests. Maybe we'll get to it in 2026. That's
true. You never know.
That's right. Send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics at. I put the wrong one up. That's okay. The information's the same. CapesandLunatics at gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. That should be the blue one, but don't matter. You can find all things Capes Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your new Capes Lunatics merchandise. Get your classic Capes Lunatics merchandise. And again, both Hellfire demands that you rain random money on us to the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
That's right.
That's right. And so, yes, rain random money on us, please. Pretend we're that metaphorical girl dancing in the club on the pole. Please rain the money on us so we can quit dancing and not get pulled into the future and turn into a hound, please.
So she's just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, the Patreon, where Lilith and I try to give you something different every month. Content exclusive only to the Patreon
That's
elite.
right.
Like this young
That's
man.
Right. Like myself. Join me in the Patreon elite. You get all the perks, all the uncensored Lilith Hellfire you could possibly want.
Like this biscuit taste tester down here.
That's right.
All right. So, yes, find the Patreon at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics and find it all at tubespace.ao/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.ao/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. So, now we get to this Justin the Owl. You hear him at least once a month here on X-Men Classics. Every week on Marvel Tales with me, talking something new on Marvel. I can hear him once a month on Energon Universe with me and Russell, talking all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content at Image. I can hear him at least once a month on We Are in the Night,
the Batman podcast,
where you can hear him talk with me every month about Azrael. Justin, do you believe last night we were doing it before the Bat, and Lilith goes, "What are we doing for episode 200?" And I said, "How many times did I tell you Batman 89?" And she's like, "Don't blame me, it's the edibles." She did.
Those edibles, I'll vouch for that.
You must have some weapon. I know.
Well,
I think they have any effect on little Hellfire, man. Those things got to be like weaponized with some kind of radiation or something. All right. And again, you can hear Justin every so often on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast,
right,
including his upcoming 3-episode arc for
talking
Exile.
Exile, yeah. I'm excited.
Yes. And of course, he does more podcasting besides
That's
that.
right.
He's the king of podcasting. So, Justin, tell us about these other fabulous shows.
You can also find me, yes, on these fabulous shows. You can find me on Gamma Charge with Russell. Every month we talk about Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. We have an interview coming out with David Papose, so check that out. And on Predator and Prey, we're joined by the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray. And right now, before the release of Predator versus Black Panther later this year, we're talking about some classic Dark Horse Predator comics. And The Lost Library of Legends coming very soon. I will have a retrospective on a 1993 title from Image called Wildstar.
We're going back to the 90s here, bitch. It's me, your old pal, the Owl.
Yes. I love it.
Double biscuits.
I thought you were laughing.
Things in common, cannabis and comics and everything that starts with C.
Classic.
Oh,
My favorite biscuit.
all right, kids. In this episode, I believe this completely is justified.
Well, that escalated.
Yes. There are a lot of things in this story that escalated quickly.
Between the story and the two of us, things did escalate very quickly.
Yes.
It's not a tumor.
He wasn't even in this story. I can't wait till we talk about it in a minute. All right, kid. There's a teaser to go listen to the 9-part.
That's right.
Packs on Marvel.
See us over on Marvel Tales.
All right. So, yes, thank you for joining us. Next time, more future talk with X-Men 29
Yes.
1 through 4.
Join us in the future.
Great. And again, yeah, next year you're going to start getting more X-Men classics.
That's right. By popular demand.
YouTube demanded it. Oh, did you see? We hit 500
I
subscribers.
saw that. Yeah. That's exciting.
All right, kids. Come back next time. And remember, don't take no dirty harpoons. Good night.